Hey, this is Neil. Scott asked me to put together a very quick demonstration of some work that we've been doing around deploying demo environments for our learning paths. What I've got here is just a mock-up of what a repository for our learning path might look like. I'll click in on one of the sessions. We can see I've got a Deploy to Azure button, some of the other assets such as the PowerPoint deck, videos, and any kind of content that we might want to go along with that. I'm going to go ahead and kick off a deployment using this Deploy to Azure button, and then we'll take a look at what's going on the back end. And there's our resource group, and we can see that the deployment has started. Now let's take a look at the Resource Manager template that was just deployed. As we know, Azure Resource Manager templates are limited to deploying Azure resources that are backed by a resource provider, and they lack extensibility for doing things like populating data in a database or running arbitrary code. Essentially, what I've done here is built a very hacky method for running arbitrary code from an Azure Resource Manager template deployment. And really the goal here, or the star of this situation, is that Deploy to Azure button, and really giving ourselves, our customers, and our potential customers a very easy method for deploying the demo environments associated with these learning paths. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, but at a high level, what the solution does is it uses an Azure Resource Manager template to create an identity, a managed service identity, an Azure container instance. It populates that container instance with a bunch of environment variables that can be specified inside of the template. So these are things that we need to use inside of the arbitrary code that we're running, such as maybe the session code, resource group names, and then also the repository where that arbitrary code lives. Finally, we're going to execute a bootstrapping script that will run that arbitrary code. So for the case of the deployment that I just ran, notice that we have nothing in here about app services or configuration. However, if we flip back over to the deployment, we have all these resources created. So these resources have been created from a script that runs inside of that container instance. Furthermore, what's pretty cool is we can drill in on the container instance and see the output of that arbitrary code that was run. So I can click on containers, logs, and see the logged output of that arbitrary code, including any outputs that I might define in that code, such as with the migration 10 deployment, it gives me the address to the front end of the application that was deployed. There are a couple other technical details that goes into building one of these deployment packages. I won't go into all of those in this short video, but in theory, what this allows us to do is use the Deploy to Azure button for complex deployments that include configurations and things like populating data that we could not previously do using an Azure Resource Manager template. So I've currently got Migration 10 completed, and I'm now working on Migration 20, which is a much more complex deployment, so we'll see how I do there. The help that I could use from you is feedback on the process. If you want more information on the technical details, feel free to set up some time. And then as well, if you yourself have any knowledge on deploying Migration 30, 40, and 50, I could use help there as well. Ideally, what I would like to do is within the next couple weeks, complete this process across all of the sessions in the migration learning path. Thanks a lot for watching this quick demonstration, and please let me know if you want more information. Thanks.